Hey guys, Laura and Brooke here today for Lawyering Outside the Lines. Welcome to December. Legal consumers are and have been demanding changes in the way that they are receiving legal help. And our profession for a while has really been at a crossroads. And with the pandemic, 2020 has really sped up some of the decisions we've had to make as far as the delivery of legal services and how we service our clients. So we can either meet our clients where they need us to be or do more of the same to the detriment of ourselves and our clients. So, I think people are starting to realize, even on the other side of the pandemic, that things are going to look different when we are providing legal help to our clients. And I think clients are going to expect a continuation of some of the conveniences that we've adopted during the pandemic. So today, Laura and I are going to address some limiting traditional beliefs and practices, along with some alternatives to implement to create more of a client-centric practice that is going to help you sustain and grow throughout the rest of the pandemic and beyond. So excuse me if I sneeze. I feel it there. I felt it for like 5 minutes. My eyes are watering and I can't sneeze. I don't know what's happening. But anyways, if I sneeze, I'm sorry. It's loud and scary. Limitation number 1. Adding lots of staff is the best way to grow and delegate tasks. So, employing staff can be a tedious process. You have to advertise, interview, hire, train, and then you have to manage them. Plus, you have to consider their wages and your overhead expenses. You have to adhere to all of the pertinent employment fund laws, and then you have to deal with employee overturn as well. So you invest a significant amount of time into each employee that you hire. And of course, depending on your firm and the practice areas you provide, you're likely going to need some employees on staff maybe. And even if it's you just not wanting to be solo alone in an office all day long or at your house. But filling your cubicles with paralegals, that may look like successful growth. It may be defined that way by some attorneys, but it's likely hurting your bottom line and also decreasing your efficiency. So outsourcing can be a great option for growing your law firm. You can hire contractors or specialized companies to perform certain tasks. So some of these things that you can outsource or contract out are your reception services, paralegal work, marketing, social media, automation services. That's just a few of the many things that you can outsource. You should also be utilizing technology to help streamline your practice. So tech can help with that as well. There's law practice management software and solutions. There's client portal options, online calendaring, e-signatures, automation software, intake software, all things that actually take the human out, but don't dehumanize you as an attorney or your firm.
That's one of the things we're big on, is not dehumanizing, even though we use a ton of legal tech and have done so for a very long time. So limiting belief number 2, it's that kind of day. That the belief that clients are dumb or have certain expectations for their legal experience, that's a real limiting belief. If you think that you're better than your clients, then you're never going to be able to relate to them or meet them where they are and where they need you to be. Clients are not dumb. They just don't understand the legal process because it is so cumbersome. And why should they? Because that's our job. That's why they hire us. That's why we want them to hire us. They also meet you in often difficult or overwhelmingly emotional times. They need grace, not judgment. They need patience, not arrogance. We teach our clients how to interact with us. There are a lot of unfounded assumptions and generalizations about what clients want and what we can offer. We often hear that clients don't understand or won't use the technology that we want them to use. That's really an issue for what your expectations are for how they want to work with you, as opposed to what the realities are. And there are ways to ease them into technology if they're a little bit reluctant. That access is an issue. The client, the idea that access is an issue, that clients require a face-to-face meeting, these just aren't true. The idea that clients will abuse our time if we give them access to us. Brooke and I exclusively use client portals, and it's 24/7 access. We don't respond 24/7, but we really honestly don't have an issue where people abuse, unlike when both of us were in private practice where they wanted to talk to us on the phone for hours and hours about some tiny little issue. Also, the idea that a fancy office is required, yes, that's going to get some clients in, especially if you are like personal injury or criminal law, that kind of thing, but it's not required. It's something that we think because we've been told that, and it's just not the case. To modernize your practice and increase efficiency, you need to address these falsehoods. If clients can send an email or work on a smartphone, then they can use technology. If your technology is more difficult to use than that, then you should really reevaluate the tech that you use. Most everyone across socioeconomic status and geographic location have access to a mobile device or a library for internet access. Clients don't need to see your face in person. They can see your face in social media and on your advertisements and your marketing. They don't necessarily have to sit across the desk from you. Another falsehood is that it's inconvenient for them to, or that we need to kind of pay attention to the idea versus what we have thought in the past, is that it's really inconvenient for them to have to take off work or schedule around you for the meeting, as opposed to doing something over the phone or video chat or through a client portal. Clients are honestly happy with that phone call and the access to you online. And if they want to see you, do that video chat as opposed to a phone call or having to have them drive to your office, find parking, all of that fun stuff. The most important thing to the client is that they receive quality communication. That's one of the biggest things that bar complaints about attorneys relate to, is about the communication. And from experience, clients don't have a tendency to abuse the access that we give them through technology. Lastly, they don't want to pay for your fancy office. I know Brooke likes it when I talk about my times with Westlaw and the different people that a law firm pays in order to make it so fancy and pretty, housekeeping, that kind of thing, but also the people to water your plants and things of that nature. That, office expenses are overhead, and they're considered when attorneys are pricing their services. And that's not something that clients really care about. Clients pay you to help with their legal matter, not for your mahogany desk and your hired plant waterer. Sure, these things may convey status or success, but there are plenty of ways to do that with good service and communication. And that's always going to trump the fancy office. Limiting belief number 3 is that you have to be everything to everyone. If you're everything to everyone, then who are you? Who are your clients? In order to survive in this changing world of legal services, you need to know who you are and who you serve. It's impossible to brand yourself and to stand out if you're doing a million different things. For instance, are you a bulldog attorney, or are you an advocate for peaceful resolutions? Are your ideal clients everyday middle-class legal consumers and small businesses, or do you work for the creditors and large corporations? Unless you're a larger firm with practice area departments, then this is confusing for potential clients and unsustainable in the long term to be that jack of all trades, I'll take anything that walks in the door. Plus, how are you going to develop expertise and do your best work if you're spread so thin and understand a little bit about a lot of things? So what can you do? One thing is to find your niche or niches and build your brand. Write down your personal and business goals. Create a storyboard where you go and work through who your ideal client is. That's one of the things that Brooke did amazingly when she first started our law firm, is she had names and she had jobs and where they like to shop. And
Bob and Sally and all their 3 children.
You're right, exactly. But it was very helpful to figure out how we were going to provide our services. Another thing is, track key metrics in your firm to determine what services are revenue producing and which are not really benefiting your practice. Where are you the employee of your law firm? Oops, I think I muted myself on accident.
I was like, Laura.
What part did you not hear, Brooke?
Just the very last thing that you said.
Okay. Just tracking key metrics is very important in your firm to determine what services are revenue producing and which ones are not really benefiting your practice. Are you
She muted herself again.
I'm trying to jump back and forth.
What are you doing over there?
I'm doing a little bit of COVID renovation on stuff, and I've got my computer on top of a ceiling fan that's going up, and I think I'm going to blame that on everything.
Sure.
So the gist is figure out what makes money, and don't be an employee of your firm. Be the owner, be the driver, be the brand of the firm, and don't be wasting all the time on non-revenue producing tasks.
Absolutely. So for December, kind of the things that we're wanting to talk about this month are mindset centric, some action steps that you can take just to kind of get yourself in the right headspace going into next year. This has been a trying year for most of us, and as we transition to next year and the years moving forward, we are all going to have to kind of face, what is it that we need to do to be sustainable? How can we grow? What does the new, law firm look like? And that doesn't mean that the things that work should just totally be ignored. It doesn't mean that everything looks the same, but what it means is we have to be open. We have to kind of shift our mindset in a way to recognize, where we need to evolve, where we need to change, how we can collaborate and move forward. And it starts with these limiting beliefs. Today, the first one we addressed was, adding a lot of staff. That's not necessarily the best way to grow. And you need to delegate some of those tasks. That's really helpful. Number two, that clients are dumb or have certain expectations of the legal experience. That may be a little extreme, and we know that maybe you don't think your clients are dumb, but we have seen a lot of frustration in the profession, and a lot of assumptions, especially in the profession, about what clients want, what we think they want, but we don't stop and ask them. So that's really important. And also limitation number three, you have to be everything to everyone, and you do not, because if you're everything to everyone, like Laura said, then who are you and who are your clients? You have to tailor your services, even if, like she said, we have, business, estate, and family law clients. Those are different clients. They look different. Even some sub-clients of those groups look different. But we go down to the sub-client and we figure out, who is that person? What is it that they need? What are they thinking? We try to get into their head. And not only that, we ask for feedback from clients. We ask, we do surveys. We ask for feedback from other people in a profession and people who work with clients like ours. So it's really important that we don't stay stuck in a mindset that is traditional or conventional just for the sake of that's the way it's always been done, because we have a huge opportunity as a profession to move forward and really be of service to our clients. So thanks for joining us today. We've had a few reposts because they were just too good not to repost in November. And also we were taking a little bit of time to ourselves. But we will be here again next week for Lawyering Outside the Lines at 1 p.m. Central next Tuesday. Or no, I messed up. Laura's usually one that does this and messes up. Anyways, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central, 11 Mountain, 10 Pacific. Oh my gosh, haven't done that in a while. But thanks for joining us today, and we will be here next week.